Canvas Training. Learn and grow.
So let's start the session. So hello everyone, welcome to the Introduction Career in QA Software Testing webinar. My name is Ashish and I'm going to be the instructor and trainer for this course. Now, before we start this webinar in a detailed way, I would like to give a brief about the quality analyst profile. Today, quality assurance engineer is playing a very crucial part in product delivery and product quality. We are adapting various test techniques to deliver a product or a project with quality, and many tools are utilized to achieve this as well. Now, the job of a software tester is going far well beyond the role of a traditional tester. What's more, the importance of QA has grown exponentially over the last few years, which we'll see in coming slides as well. Apart from checking a product for vulnerabilities, companies are expecting QA engineers to have deep understanding of business processes so that they could suggest ways for product improvement. Now, with this bit of introduction, let's just move to the different slides and let's understand how exactly cover this webinar. Okay, so here is the agenda for this particular webinar. First of all, we are going to understand what is software testing. Then we are going to understand why do we need software testing? What is the importance of software testing? Why actually this is so important? Then the third thing and the question that pops up in our mind is that is software testing a good career? So we'll talk about it. Then we'll learn how to become a software tester. Then we'll learn different forms of testing that is available in today's time, different profiles that are there in software testing. So we'll talk about what is QA manual and automation testing. Okay. Then we'll talk about how to start learning software testing. Okay. And then is testing as a career sustainable in long run? And finally, we'll talk about the course that we have designed in order to make you industry ready. Fine. So these are the things that we'll try to cover in today's webinar. Fine. So let me move to the next slide. Fine. So first of all, people, we are going to understand what is software testing. Okay. So as we can see over here, it says that software testing is a process to evaluate the functionality of a software application. Software testing is a process to evaluate the functionality of a software application with an intent to find whether the developed software met the specified requirement or not, and to identify the defects to ensure that product is defect-free to produce a quality product. Okay, so here we are talking about two different things. Okay, there is a myth around software testing. The software testing is all about identifying issues into the application. Okay, so there are various things that we do in software testing, and identifying issues is just one of those things. And if you go by the definition over here, the definition itself talks about two very important concepts over here, very important points. What are those points? First of all, the role of the software tester is to ensure that whatever agreed requirement and design was there, that is being captured in the software. A client gives us the requirement, and based on that requirement, we develop the software. So the first and the foremost objective of a software tester becomes is to identify whether whatever requirement and design we have agreed upon, that is being captured in our software before we actually start testing that application deeply and thoroughly. Okay, so that is the first thing the definition talks about over here as well. Okay, that whatever is the specified requirement, that is being captured in the developed software or not. So that's the first thing that we need to do as a software tester. And the second thing is, of course, you need to ensure that the application is bug free so that we are delivering a defect free product to the customer or to the client. Okay, information about software testing. Okay, so here this is bit of information about what exactly is software testing. Now let's move to the next slide. Okay, now in our mind at times a question pops up that why do we need to test the software? Okay, why do we need software testing? Why it is important? Interviewer may ask you, why is testing required? Why software testing? So when I started my career, I had no idea of what software testing is and why it is required. I had no clue where to start. Maybe you are in the same situation as I was long back. Okay, so it becomes very important for us to understand that why we need software testing. Okay, so now I see that if I talk about my personal experience, so I'll say that it's an art to evaluate the functionality of a software application with an intent to find whether the developed software meets the specified requirement or not, and to identify the defects to ensure that the product is defect free in order to produce a quality product. Now, you may ask few questions to yourself. What if there is no software testing in the software development process? There is a development process of developing the software. So what if there is no software testing in the software development process? As per the current trend, due to constant change and development in digitization, our lives are improving in all areas. The way we work has also changed. For instance, we access our bank online, we do shopping online, we order food online, and many more things. And we rely on softwares and systems to perform all these activities. What if these system turns out to be defective? We all know that one small bug shows a huge impact on business in terms of financial loss and goodwill. Okay, so to deliver a quality product, we need to have it tested. Okay, now I'm going to talk about few very important things that why testing becomes very important. Why do we need to have software testing? Now, the first thing is, which you can see on the slide as well, to ensure the software developed is in accordance with agreed requirement and design. So as I've mentioned earlier, the client gives us requirement and we do requirement analysis over that requirement, which we'll learn while we are learning this course, which I'll talk in detail as well in coming slides. So the client gives us the requirement, and based on that requirement, we do requirement analysis. And once that requirement analysis is done, both the client and the software team comes to a conclusion that this is what needs to be developed. Now, who is the person who's going to ensure that once that software is developed, it is in accordance with the agreed requirement and design? It's the job of the quality analyst. Okay, so if you think that quality analyst is all about identifying issues, it's incorrect. There are many more verticals that as a software tester you need to conquer. Okay, now so the first one out of those different verticals is to ensure that the software is developed in accordance with agreed requirement and design, and the quality analyst or the tester is going to ensure this particular requirement. Second thing is, as a software, you need to ensure that the software is working as per the expectations. That means if it's an e-commerce application, you are able to place an order and you're able to get that product delivered to your place. If it's a food app, so you're able to place that order as well. Okay, so all the things, whatever, if it's a simple login page, if you're entering correct username and correct password and clicking on login button, so it is able to log in to the home page as per the requirement. So whatever requirement is expected from the software, we need to ensure that the software is working as per the expectation as well. Now, third thing is why we need to do software testing is to ensure that the software doesn't contain any serious bug, which is all we know. Most of the people, we understand it that way. The software testing is all about identifying bugs. So when we test an application, we try to identify as many bugs as possible in order to make our application bug-free and to enhance the quality of the product. So that is the third thing, that why we need to do software testing. Fourth thing is to ensure that the software is user-friendly and easy to use. Okay. The fourth objective is to ensure that the software is, your software may be having, if we talk about, if we go a little back, I don't know how many of you have used Orkut, which was a social networking site, which came into picture around 2001 or 2002, right? And if you just, and this particular social networking site was developed by Google, okay? A big organization was sponsoring it. But despite that, Facebook dominated the social networking arena. And what was the reason for it? The reason was that if you compare Orkut with Facebook, Facebook was relatively easier to use. At that particular point of time, when both Orkut and Facebook existed in the market, the only reason that a majority of community shifted towards using Facebook is because Facebook was relatively more user-friendly. If we talk about the functional aspect, so Orkut was having more functionalities compared to Facebook at that point of time. But the only reason why people shifted towards Facebook was that Facebook was more user-friendly. It was easy to use. So that is also something that you need to validate as a software tester. Your application, maybe, you might have developed the software as per the agreed requirement and design. You have tested and you have ensured that it is working as per the expectation. You confirm that, the application is bug-free and it is not having any severe or serious bug into them. But despite all these factors, if your software is not easy to use, if your software is not user-friendly, you will not, it won't be a successful software. So as a software tester, that is also something that you need to ensure. Fine. Then the next thing is, there are certain quality metrics of the software, which we'll learn in coming sessions. So as a software tester, you need to ensure that all those quality metrics are in place. And finally, to ensure security of your data. If you have not tested the application, if you're not testing your application, you cannot ensure the security of your software. You don't want a software which is vulnerable, because our software captures a lot of data, which could be from personal to professional data, right? So if we are not testing the application, we cannot ensure the safety and security of our test data as well as that of the application. So these are some of the very vital reasons that why do we need to test the software, why we need to do the software testing. Okay, and some of the things that software testing is not only about identifying bugs, it's way beyond that. We need to ensure that the software is developed in accordance with the agreed requirement and design. It is working as per the expectation. It is user friendly, easy to use. It is safe and secure. It is maintaining all the industry standard quality metrics. And at the same time, it is also bug free, right? So these are few of the things that confirms that why we actually need to do software testing. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Right now it says, is software testing a good career? Okay, so here we are going to talk about, because that is most important thing, right? As a career, is it effective or not? Okay, so we'll talk about it over here. Okay, so see, choosing a software testing as a career is a good choice. Nowadays, companies are more concerned about the quality of their product. And as I say, that quality has never been outdated, and it will never be an outdated thing. Okay, so choosing a software testing is a good career choice. Now, no one is going to release a product without a quality check, whether it's a software product or it's a non-software product, right? It has to go through the quality check process. Even in today's time, if you remember, we are going through COVID times, and the vaccines that is being given to us, this was developed in the initial 5 months of this disease outbreak. But what took time was testing. We needed to test that vaccine over different communities, different age groups, just to validate that it does not have any adverse side effect. So similarly, testing becomes very important in every aspect. Okay, so as I have said, that no one is going to release a product without a quality check, and you can start your career in software testing by learning manual testing concepts first, and then move to automation testing, which again I'll talk in the coming slides. And as you can see over here, how the software testing has grown in recent years. Here we are representing it from 2016 to 2022, and if you can see that here, initially the software testing industry was of around 15.87 US dollar, okay, 15.87 billion US dollar, which has gradually in today's time increased to 54.98 US dollar in billions, right? So that is how it is growing gradually, okay, over the years. And in coming years, the demand is of course going to increase because of the change from manual testing to automation testing, and different forms of testing that has come into picture. A question that mostly pops up in our mind is that how much does an automation test engineer makes? So here we have just captured few data over here, that how much they make. So the average salary of a software test engineer is between $65,000 to $71,000 in US, in UK, and in European nations, whereas the same average salary of a senior quality assurance engineer is around 12 lakh to 25 lakh in India. Okay, so it's a high paying job, guys. Okay, it's not something that you are doing something and you're not getting paid well. And we'll learn this as we proceed further, that it will generate interest while you're performing this job. Okay, so as we can see that the business, in terms of turnover, in terms of business, this particular domain has shown almost exponential growth in recent few years, and it's a high paying job as well. Now the third thing is, you must have heard of some bounty hunt that periodically happens in around the globe. So for example, if we talk of some companies that organize this, so there is Intel. So Intel's bounty program mainly targets companies' hardware, firmware, and software. Okay, and for every bug that you identify into their system, Intel offers a minimum amount of around $1,000 for finding the bugs in their system, and their maximum payout could be around $30,000. Similarly, Yahoo has its dedicated team that accepts vulnerability report from security researchers and ethical hackers. Okay, and if you identify bug into their system, Yahoo can pay you something around $15,000 as well, right? Similarly, there is Snapchat, which Snapchat security team reviews all vulnerability reports and acts upon them by responsible disclosure. The company will acknowledge your submission within 30 days. And here they also, for every bug that you identify, Snapchat pays you a minimum of $2,000 and maximum of $15,000. Then there is Cisco, Dropbox, Apple, Facebook. So if you identify in Facebook, there is no upper limit as far as making payment for the bugs that you have identified is concerned. Okay, so these are different companies that pays you well to identify some issues into their application. So software testing, we have understood why it is it is such an important career. I mean, I can just show you something. If you just go to Google and if you type, something like here, I'm going to type, yeah. Here, if you see, this is a recent development that happened over here. So there was this girl, Aditi Singh, a 20-year-old ethical hacker from Delhi, and she has been rewarded $30,000, which is approximately 22 lakh in INR, for spotting a bug in Microsoft Azure cloud system. Okay, so here you see, just to identify one single bug in their system, this is what you get paid. Okay, so if there is any myth around that, it's not a high paying job, especially we compare it with the development field. Okay, so we feel that, it's not that high paying job, which is not correct, right? As we can see from here, nobody is going to pay you, around 20 to, $30,000 just for identifying a bug. So this is something that I wanted to show you over here. Now, again, there may be lots and lots of questions like, is software testing a good career choice for freshers? Yes, it's a good career choice, and we are presenting the data over here just to understand that thing only. Now, how can I achieve more growth in software testing career? Which job position is better software testing? I mean, as a job position, which job position is better, a software tester or a software development? The software testing, is it going to be a high paying job? So all these things, to some extent we have understood it. Okay, now let's understand one thing, that each career path is unique. We can't deny it. Now, if you're looking to become a software tester, or you are already a software tester, then you have to give some good, answers in order to impress the interviewer, that why you want to become a software tester. Once you complete the certification or graduation, we'll be in chaos to choose our career path. There are some myths which are there in the industry for choosing software testing as a career, and let me tell you, these are merely myth. For example, one of the myths is that anybody can test, which is again an incorrect assumption. Because just like saying that, since somebody can cook, he's a chef. Similarly, if it's not that anybody can test, you need to have the right logical mindset and right skill set in order to be able to perform testing. Right, then another myth is that salaries will be less compared to the developers in the industry, which is again a myth. You'll see that in the industry, there are companies who pay either the testers at par with the developers, or I've seen certain cases where they are even paid better than them. Okay, so that's another myth that you should not care of. Okay, now the next thing is, there won't be any growth in software testing. That is again an incorrect myth, guys. Okay, so gone are the days when all the myths that I have mentioned above seems to be valid. If you are in a chaos of choosing software testing as a career, then I think we need to understand. I'm going to mention some points to strengthen and choose software testing as a career. If you're already working as a software tester and worrying about your career growth, then I think these points are going to help you out. Okay, so now the first thing is, not everybody can test. One should need a good analytical skill to become a software tester. You need to be a good at communication skills for reporting and convincing others. Okay, salary may be less when you start your career, but experienced testers are earning the same level of package as compared to the developers. Many companies are offering, as I've said, much more salaries to the automation testers compared to the developers. And also, it's an old myth in the industry that one who can't code can be a software tester. Okay, record and playback days are gone. Right, in an automation age, an automation testers write codes to automate the script as well, depending upon your choice. I mean, it's not mandatory that you need to know automation or you need to know coding in order to be an automation engineer. But if you have knowledge of it, of course, you are going to diversify your job market, right? So that is all that is important. And as far as growth is concerned, the testers can become test lead, project lead, automation architects, test manager. All these are the different profiles that we can achieve as a software tester. Let's move to the next slide. Now, the next question is how to become a software tester. Okay, now to become a software tester, there are some of the attributes that you should be looking at. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the educational qualification. Okay, now ideally, there's no any educational qualification that is needed to be a software tester, that you need to be a graduate or you need to have done engineering in information technology or computer science. If you're having it, it's always a good thing to have. But what is more important is that you need to have other attributes apart from this. You can have certification. Let's say if you don't have a degree in software testing or in engineering, even by having certification, and in the certification, you go through the different forms of training. Okay, so through that training, you achieve all those those skill set which is needed to be a software tester, right? So the first thing that is needed to be a software tester is you need to have a logical thinking, okay? Or if I can talk it, let's start from one point at a time. So we have talked about educational qualifications. The next thing is communication skills. Now, effective communication skills are crucial for software testers. Your job involves much time sitting in meetings. Okay, you'll either be providing or you'll be receiving status updates. Okay, so there are testing artifacts which will be created by software testers, which should be easy to read and comprehend. Also, you have to respond to tons of emails, calls, and meeting invites. You need to communicate with both technical and non-technical people. So here, a software tester, you'll realize that as a software tester, you're acting as a facilitator between the technical and non-technical people at times. You have to deal with the developers. Okay, also you need to understand the technical jargons. So this becomes very important. This becomes easy only when you are good at communication. So that is another thing that we need to understand, that if you want to become a software tester, these are some of the things that you need to focus on. Then the third thing is software testing concepts. Okay, now basically software testing is important in the IT industry as it is cost effective. It provides security, it provides product quality, and provides customer satisfaction as well. Software testers ensure that the software is free of bugs and working completely fine. Okay, testers identify the gaps in the requirement or the missing element in the projects as well. Okay, so you can perform all these activities only when your testing concepts are in place. And how we can gain this testing concepts? Either we can have training around them, we can have certifications, so we can have some educational background related to them. Fine. The next thing is, as I've said, that we need to have our testing concept should be clear and our testing technical skills should be in place. Right? Now the next thing is certification. Okay, definitely certification is an added advantage to get attention of hiring managers. Okay, you can go for trainings. In trainings, you'll get the certification. For example, even we provide certifications once the training is done, and it is valid across the globe. Okay, apart from this, once you are into IT industry and you are working as a tester, there are other certifications that you can go for in order to establish yourself as a certified tester. Fine. Also, you need to have a passion for it. To excel in any profession or job, one must have apart from having a significant degree, you should have a passion for it. A software tester must have a passion for his or her field. As the IT industry is growing day by day, testers can survive in the IT industry if he or she is having a passion to learn the new technologies and tools. Right? So these are different attributes that you need to have in order to become a software tester. Fine. Now, let's understand there are two different forms of testing. Testers are there in the market. One who does QA manual, and then there is another who does automation testing. And then there are a few who do both manual and automation testing. Now, as I've said that, it provides, I would say, a platform to a person who is interested in coding and who's not interested in coding, because coding might seem to be the dividing factor between these two categories, right? There are people who love to code, and then there are people who don't want to code. They're not comfortable with coding. So depending upon your area of interest, your comfort level, you can choose whether you want to be a manual tester or you want to be an automation tester. Okay, in manual tester, we are going, there are different things that we do as a manual tester. For some of the things I've mentioned over here, but it is well beyond that. I'm just mentioning few things over here, but manual testing is, I would say, a wide field, and so is the automation testing. So here we are talking about few things that will help you to understand it. So in manual testing, some of the things that we do is we do system testing, we do acceptance testing. Right now, these all may sound like technical jargons to you, but once we start this session, we'll understand all these terminologies in detail, and you'll be able to understand that what is system testing, what is acceptance testing. Then there is black box testing, white box testing, gray box testing. In manual testing, again, there are other things, right? We'll talk about software development life cycle, which is also known as SDLC. We'll talk about software test life cycle. We'll talk about verification. We'll talk about validations. And there are, different types of testing, different levels of testing in manual testing. For example, we have component testing is there, then integration testing is there, then system testing, then acceptance testing is there. And then there are, different types of testing, like, there is functional testing, there's non-functional testing. There is, some scenario-based testing like smoke testing, sanity testing. It's huge. So right now, I'm not laying much emphasis on them because these are our technical words, which you will understand while we are learning about manual testing. So these are few things that we do in manual testings, and this people who are not interested in coding, okay, they can get into manual testing. Okay, so as a manual tester, you can start your career. And then there are automation testers for those people who are interested in coding, who love coding, and who want to automate their application in order to test it. So in automation testing, as I've mentioned, is again a very wide field. And what exactly we do in here, you need to have knowledge of any programming language. Okay, so either you need to know Java, C Sharp, Python, or any other programming language to be an automation engineer. So that is the first and the foremost requirement to be an automation engineer. And then your concept should be clear as far as programming is concerned. And one of the concept is your object oriented concept should be in place. Then you need to know about what is unit testing, how you are going to execute your automation test cases, then what are different frameworks that you are going to use in automation. So we'll talk about lots and lots of framework, like there is BDD framework, then there is TDD framework, and under these framework we are going to use different tools like TestNG is there, Cucumber is there. And also apart from this, we are going to learn that how exactly automation testing is important when you compare it with manual testing, and how this is going to help the manual testers. Okay, so automation testing came into picture in order to help the manual testers. Okay, we'll talk about the challenges which were faced by manual testers and how automation testing was capable of overcoming all those challenges. Fine. So these are two different categories. Based on your choice, based on your interest, you can decide if you want to be a manual tester or an automation tester. Fine. Now, the next thing is we can talk about is how to start learning software testing. Okay. So here I have mentioned some of the things that I'm going to talk about. Now, first and the foremost thing that you need to do is you need to have training, degrees, or certification to get into the software testing, right? It's very important that either you are a trained professional, you hold a degree for it, or you are a certified quality analyst. Okay, these are some of the prerequisite things to get into the industry. Remember, to be a software tester, of course, you need to have logical and analytical skill set, all the things that we have talked in the previous slide. But if you want to get into the industry, okay, you need to possess, either you are a trained professional, you need to hold a degree for it, or you need to have certification for it. Okay. The next thing is you need to have hands-on experience. What do you mean by hands-on experience? By hands-on experience, we mean that you should not have only theoretical knowledge of software testing concepts. Okay, for example, if I talk of verification and validation, you should be able to understand that while you're testing the software, are you doing verification, are you doing validation? So right now, again, as I've said, that these might sound to be a technical term for few of you, but you need to have hands-on experience. And how you will gain that hands-on experience? Only when you have taken trainings, or you are certified quality analyst professional. Okay, so that is something that is important. Third thing is you need to understand the trend. Now, people, let's realize one thing, that technology is changing every day, and it's huge. It's like an ocean. You just cannot keep on looking out for anything that is in news, or anything that is you hear from your friend, or somebody from your family who's working as a quality analyst, and you start picking it up right there. That is not how it works. You have to understand the trend, that what is in the market right now, which technology has growth in near future. So you need to understand the trend. You need to understand the trend that is being followed as in manual testing, that is being followed in automation testing. Then there are people who are into manual testing, they want to automate the application. So guys, to automate the application, yes, you need to have good knowledge of programming language, but that's not a mandatory thing. In today's time, you'll learn that there are many tools for which you don't need coding, and still you'll be able to automate the application. Okay, they all are known as scriptless test automation. So we need to have knowledge about this, that what if I want to be an automation tester, but I don't want to learn coding? So again, that is something that is possible in today's time. You'll hear a lot of tools which do this. For example, Tosca is one such tool. Then there are other tools, performance tools like JMeter is there, Load Runner is there. For security testing, we have IBM Scan. So there are many tools through which we can do automation and testing, and we don't need coding knowledge for it, right? So that is again something that is in trend. Then there's this testing around big data. Big data is, again, it has got huge scope in coming days, right? It's in scope even in today's time, and in coming time it's going to increase. Then we need to if we can understand that artificial intelligence and machine learning. So again, we have got huge scope in these technologies, or as well in coming time. Then there is robotic process automation, which is also known as in short term RPA. And then blockchain testing. You must listening about blockchain technology being used across the globe for different reasons. So these are some of the upcoming trends that you need to capture, you need to understand in your initial days, and you need to focus on them. Fine. And then one of the most important thing is resume building. How you create your resume, because I've seen that people take training, they are certified, but or they are degree holders, but they don't know what are keywords to put in their resume. Okay, so as a team, we are helping out the candidates to make their resume and to put the right word into their resume so that they get the right calls for interviews. Fine. So building the resume is again a very important factor that how you want to get into the IT industry. So these are few of the things that will help you to start learning software testing. Fine. Now, here we are talking about, is testing as a career sustainable in long run? Okay, now I'll tell you something. If there was a developer, let's say, let's talk about a few years back. Let's say there was a developer in 2005 and he was working on a technology, let's say C or C++. In today's time, that particular language is almost next to dead, right? We don't, you would find that there are very less software companies who are actually using these programming language. Today we are using programming languages which are, for example, we rely on Java, we rely on Python is in trend, we rely on C sharp, but C and C++, they are not as widely used as they were used around 2005, right? So if you had been a developer and you would have been working as a software developer and you were working as a C or C++ developer, so it would be very hard for you to land in with a job in today's time or to survive in the industry if you have not upgraded yourself. Okay, but as a software tester, we are technology independent. Okay, here whatever thing we learn is not associated with any particular technology. If depending upon the software may be developed in any technology, whatever technology it is developed, they always need to be tested. And as they always need to be tested, so you don't have to be expert in that particular technology or programming language. Okay, so you'll understand that as a software tester, whatever experience you gain over the years, that is always going to increase your demand in the market. Okay, so the first and the most important advantage of being a software quality analyst is that we are not dependent on any particular technology. You can test an application which is developed in Java, you can test an application which is developed in C sharp, or you can test an application which is developed in Python, or you can do a blockchain testing, you can do, a big data testing. All these things are possible for us. Okay, so one of the vital reasons for this is that we are a technology independent. It's a technology independent profile, or it's a part of all technology, because here understanding the domain is important rather than, if you have knowledge of the technology, it's always an added advantage, but we are not solely dependent on it. Okay, and the next thing is, as I've said, that quality can never be out of trend. So any product that you want to deliver has to be perfect. It has to follow all the quality metrics. Okay, so these are some of the things that will help you to understand that it's sustainable in long run. Now, having understood all these things, now we are going to talk about the course details, that how exactly we have designed this course, what you are going to learn in all these things. But before that, before I start talking about this, I'm going to open this channel, and if you have any questions, of course you can ask those questions right now, and I'll be more than happy to answer them before we actually start about talking about the course details, that what we are going to learn in upcoming sessions. So if there are any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions.
Hi, Ashish. This is Udaya here. I'm sorry if you're getting any disturbance. I'm actually traveling and missed a little bit of session in the earlier part. So can you, is it possible to send a recording of this session?
Yes, sure. We'll ensure that you receive the recording.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions, people? Any other doubts? Any other concerns from anyone? Fine. So I believe to some extent we have understood most of the things related with software testing, right? We have understood what is software testing. Then we have understood that, why do we need software testing? What if there is no software testing in the software development process? Then we have talked about what is manual testing and what is automation testing. We'll again talk about it in detail once the course starts. Then how you can become a software tester. Is software testing a good career? How to start learning software testing? Okay, how much does a software test engineer makes? Okay, these are some of the things that we have tried to explain you through this session. Okay, so here one question is that where can we get certification? So, for example, in our training, we provide a certification. So those the certification that we provide is valid across the globe. So that is something that will help you to get into the IT industry. And once you get this certification, once you have some experience in the IT industry, with this certification, you can get into the industry. And after getting into the industry, again, at different levels of experience, we have different certifications. Okay, so you can go through all those certifications, which will help you to land in a good job. Fine. Now let's talk about a little bit the course that we are going to cover as part of our training. Okay, so I'm going to explain a bit about it. Okay, how can we get to know about its opening? Okay, so you're talking about job openings, right? So as I've said that, first of all, you need to create your resume, right? And one of the major problem that most of the freshers and even experienced people face is that they learn lots and lots of things, but they don't know how to put it in their resume. So it becomes very important that you add the right keywords, and that is something that will help you. Okay, we'll provide you a sample resume depending upon which course you have opted for your certification. And the only thing that you'll have to do in those resumes, you'll have to add your personal details over there. As far as professional details are concerned, the things that you have learned, we are already going to put it over there so that you get the right job calls. Okay, so resume building is important thing. And then you need to apply on different job portals with that resume. So that is how you'll start getting the calls for it. Fine. People, you can keep dropping your questions. Would you mind to tell me about time frame for QA automation course? Okay, so the QA automation, I'm going to talk about the course over here, that what all things we are going to learn in QA automation, and based on that, you'll have an idea about it, that how exactly, but I can ensure that within close to 30 classes, that means that will take about 1.5 months or even less than that, you can be an expert automation engineer. It's not that you'll be a normal automation engineer, you'll be an expert automation engineer, and you can compete with anyone who is having 5 to 6 years of experience in automation tester. If you just focus on the real-time projects that we are automating, if you focus on the concept that we are training you on, if you practice those concepts every day, if you're doing hands-on practice of all those concepts that we are learning over here, so of course you can achieve all these things within 1.5 months approximately. You will be an expert automation engineer. Okay, fine. Now I'm going to talk about the syllabus over here, the course, and it will give you a wider understanding of what we are going to learn and how this is going to help you out. Okay, so let's write so first of all, I'm going to talk about the manual testing. Okay, so what all things we are going to learn in manual testing. In manual testing, of course, first of all, we'll learn about definitions of software testing. That's the first thing that we are going to learn. Okay, then we'll be talking about the next thing that we are going to learn is what are principles of software testing. Okay, there are 7 principles in software testing. We are going to learn about those 7 principles in detail and how this principles of software testing is going to help you. This is where you will start gaining your hands-on experience over the product or the project. Okay, so learning principle of software testing helps you in understanding how exactly we test an application. Okay, so this is going to give you hands-on knowledge of software testing. So we'll talk about principles of software testing. Then we are going to learn about what is SDLC, which is software development lifecycle. Okay. Then we'll also learn about STLC, which is software test life cycle. Fine. Now, what is this life cycles? When you want to develop any product, it has to go through certain stages. Okay. Similarly, while we'll be developing software tester, it has to go through certain stages. So we talk of all those stages in SDLC, software development lifecycle, and then there is software test lifecycle. That means while you are testing the application, even the testing of that application has to go through different stages or different levels or different phases. So we talk about all those things under STLC. Fine. The next thing that we'll be learning in manual testing is what is verification and validation. Okay. Then we are going to talk about under levels of testing. We'll be focusing on component testing, then integration testing. Then we'll be learning about system testing. And finally, we'll be learning about acceptance testing. Okay. Then we are going to learn about what are different types of testing. Here we are going to understand what is functional testing. And then we are going to talk about what is non-functional testing. Okay. Under non-functional testing, of course, we'll focus on few concepts. As far as functional testing is concerned, everything that I'm mentioning above and after this I'll be mentioning will be part of your functional testing. So non-functional testing, we'll talk about performance testing. Under performance testing, we are going to talk about what is load testing and what is stress testing. So these are the things that we'll talk about under performance testing. And then there's one more thing here. Apart from performance testing, we'll also talk about security testing. And then we are going to talk about some scenario-based testing. Under this, we'll understand what is smoke testing, what is sanity testing, What do you mean by scenario-based testing? That, while you'll be testing an application, you'll come across certain scenarios, and during that one, you need to do these specific type of testing. So smoke testing, sanity testing, then, we'll talk about ad hoc testing, then exploratory testing, and end-to-end testing. And finally, we'll talk about regression testing. And once you have understood, guys, this regression testing, you will understand that why automation actually came into picture. Okay, so this is the testing which is mostly done by the manual testers. And once you have understood what is regression testing, you'll have an idea that what problem the manual testers were facing, because of which we have to move towards automation testing, or automation testing came into picture. Okay, so this is one thing. And apart from this, we are also going to learn about bug life cycle. And then, of course, we are going to learn about different tools that we use in software testing. Right. So this is more or less high level understanding of what all things we are going to understand, or we are going to learn in manual testing. And then I'm going to talk about the course that we have for automation testing. Okay. In automation testing, first and the foremost thing that you need to understand is that you need to have the understanding of programming language. Okay, so here we are going to train you on Java. Okay, why we have chosen Java as a programming language? There are multiple reasons for it. And one of the most important reason is that in industry, when we talk of automation tool, Java is the most preferred language for most of the industries, or for most of the companies. So that is one of the reasons. There are multiple other reasons as well, which we'll talk while we are doing this session. But one of the very important reason is that it's in demand in the market when you compare with other programming languages. Okay, so if there is an opening for an automation tester, you'll find that 8 out of 10 is for Java programming language. That means Java, you need to know Java programming to be able to be an automation engineer. So we will make you learn Java. And on Java, we are going to learn about a lot many things. Okay, I'm just going to write the high level concept that we'll be learning. We'll learn about OOPS concepts. Okay, under OOPS concept, we are going to learn about encapsulation. Okay, then we are going to learn about polymorphism, and then we are going to learn about inheritance. Okay, under encapsulation, we'll be learning a sub-concept which is known as data hiding. Okay, under polymorphism, we are going to learn two very important concepts, which is known as overloading and overriding. Okay, and under inheritance, we are going to learn about, again, two very important concepts, which is interface and abstraction. Okay, apart from this, we are going to learn about what are statements in Java, and we are going to learn about what are loops in Java. Okay, then we are going to learn about, once we have learned about the statements, in statements, we are going to focus on if a statement, if else a statement, if else if a statement. In loops, we are going to understand about while loop, do while loop, then for loop, advanced for loop. All these things we are going to understand in loops. And then we are going to understand about what is class, what is object. Okay, what is relationship between class and object, and finally we'll understand what are methods and different types of methods. Now, people, let me tell you, as far as coding is concerned, if you have any doubt about coding, that it's a difficult thing, so again, I'll tell you, it's just a myth. We are not only training you on these topics, we'll also make you understand that how you will understand that now you have to create a method. Because as an experienced person, I know that when I have to create method, when I have to create class, when I have to create object, when I have to use encapsulation concept, but how, as a fresher or as a person who is just learning programming, how will you understand? So the USP of this course is, as far as automation is concerned, you yourself will have an idea. You yourself will take this decision that, oh, I've come across this situation, I need to create a class. I've come across this situation, I need to create method. Okay, if I'm creating a method, now I need to create this type of method. So that is something that you will understand by yourself. You don't have to, most of the people say that programming comes by experience. No, it does not come by experience. We are going to train you for that, by yourself, you will have an idea that, which concept, which programming concept you have to implement, and when to use it, why to use it, and how to use it. Okay, so apart from learning the definitions, learning the syntaxes, what we are focusing on is that you understand yourself that now you have to use this particular concept, and if you have to use it, how you have to use it, and why you have to use it. So that is again something we'll be training you on. Fine. Then after learning about different types of methods, we'll talk about again few things like constructors, and we'll learn about few keywords like static keywords. Okay, so these are some of the things that you will learn in programming. Fine. Once we are done with the programming, Okay. The next thing is we'll talk about the tool Selenium. Okay. So this is the functional automation tool that we'll be using to automate our application. Okay. And in order to learn Selenium, we need to learn few things. First of all, we need to learn HTML, which is an scripting language. Then we need to have knowledge of XPath. So we'll make you understand all these things. And then in Selenium, we are going to learn the tool. And here we'll be automating, be it manual testing or automation testing. In both the scenarios, we are going to work on real-time projects. So we'll be doing all this testing on real application, and whatever testing we are doing manually over here, the same we are going to automate under Selenium. Okay. So here we'll do real-time automation of application. Okay. And after this, once we have learned Selenium, then we are going to do some advanced learning. In advanced learning, we'll talk about frameworks. Okay. And in frameworks, we are going to learn about two very important frameworks. The first one is TDD. Under TDD, we'll learn a tool which is known as TestNG and JUnit. And then in BDD, there is another framework, BDD. And in BDD, we are going to learn about a tool which is known as Cucumber. Fine. So this is a high level understanding of what all things we are going to learn in manual testing and in automation testing. Now, this entire course, if I talk of this entire course, this will take around 1.5 months for you to understand. Okay. And within 1.5 months, you will be a master of manual testing and automation testing. Fine. And once you're done with that, of course, we'll give you certification for this as well. Fine. So this is all about manual and automation syllabus at higher level. If you have any queries or any questions, you can drop it right now for manual testing or automation testing. If you have any questions, any concerns, any doubts, we can talk about it.
So Ashish, I think I have a question here, and this is Vishal. So just wanted to
Vishal.
know, I mean, after learning everything, this is going to be very theoretical, but just in case while we are attending your session, is there a way we can actually kind of get kind of a mock testing,
Okay.
something which we can use as a practice to understand the, get it experienced, hand-on experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Vishal, this is not going to be theoretical at all. Okay. And if you want to check it, we can also share the recording of our sessions that we conduct regularly. I mean, it would be hardly be 10% theoretical and remaining 90%, this is going to be practical. Okay. So while we'll be learning all these things, it's not that, I'm going to tell you the definition of component testing or integration testing. We'll talk about the definition, but that would only be for a while. Okay. Ultimately, we'll be doing component testing on the real application. Okay. So everything is.
So you do have a practice tool, right? Where we can actually create.
Right. Okay. I can show you the application that we'll be using for automation testing and manual testing. So this is the application that let me just open it. We have developed an e-commerce application, genbusdemo.com. And this is the application which will be doing manual testing on, and this will then automate the same application as well. Okay. And then there are other applications also. So, I have experienced, this was one of the problems that we experienced in training that, it's more or less theoretical. So we are moving away from it, and we are completely focused on providing you hands-on experience. And that is the reason why even for automation testing, I said that it will be you who will have the knowledge that now you have to create this class. Now you have to create this object. Why are we creating this class? Why are we making, static or non-static, or why we are creating constructors? So it is going to be purely hands-on experience for you. I won't be,
that's exactly what I meant, because, unless until you do anything practically, it's difficult. So since you're saying you already have a practice tool, examples or something that we can use while we are in the session, I think that's a better way of learning. So yeah, that sounds good to me.
Will there be a hands-on Selenium? Yes, in Selenium also, guys, we have this application, and we are going to automate this entire application. Okay, you'll have real hands-on experience on everything. Okay. It's not that I'll just tell you what is definition of encapsulation. Yes, I'll tell you definition of encapsulation. I'll tell you syntax of encapsulation. But then I'm also going to tell you that how you will understand that you have to encapsulation. Okay. Why you are using encapsulation. Okay. So all these things we are going to learn. Okay. We'll come across all those scenarios, and we'll talk about this, that now you have to use encapsulation. Now you have to use polymorphism. Okay. So you'll be having the real hands-on experience on everything. Okay. And you can go to our review page. If you have any doubt, I think that the team will also share it with you. Let me see if I have. So let me open this. See here, people have given reviews about how we, teach, and, here you can see some of the things that we have written. So it's mostly, you'll find that people have said that they get the real-time hands-on experience. Okay. They have this hands-on experience on everything. It's not just they're learning the definitions or they're learning the syntax. That's not what we focus on. We want to make you industry ready. Okay. So that you are able not only to crack the interview, but you're also able to do the job that you'll be given once you join the industry. Okay, so you can go through these review pages also, and it will give you a better idea of it. I'll request the team to share this link in the mail that will be shared with all of you all people. Okay, any more questions?
One more question to you, Ashish. So since we are
Mhm.
talking about automation testing here, and
Mhm.
Selenium is one of the most popular automation
Right.
the tools we have, but
Right.
there are other automation tools as well which are quite popular in the
Right.
market. So
Right.
sometime towards the end of the session, maybe are we also going to talk about anything outside Selenium, maybe a couple of more automation tools, or how it works?
Okay. See, as I've said that both manual and automation is a huge field, right? So every other day you'll keep on listening about new tools. For example, in today's time, you must be hearing a lot about Cypress, which is again gaining very huge popularity. And so it is that first of all you need to understand one tool. For example, I have started my tool. The tool that I started learning was Tosca, and for Tosca you don't need the knowledge of programming concepts. You can automate the application without having the knowledge of any programming language. But the thing that Tosca taught me is that it will give you an idea that how this automation framework works. Okay, so it becomes very important for you if you know one tool, if you have learned how to automate an application using any tool in the market. Okay, so the learning of second tools becomes way too more easier for you. Okay, then switching from one tool to another tool won't be that difficult thing for you. I have not worked on Cypress till now, but if I'm given an opportunity, I know I'll be able to do it because I have worked on previous automation tools, right? So of course we are going to talk about all those tools, and we'll tell you that when you need those tools, what are advantages of those tools, what are their disadvantages. I will also talk about, you said that Selenium is so popular tool. So why it is popular tool? I mean, this Selenium came into picture around 2004, and it's been almost almost close to 2 decades, and this is the only tool that has survived in such a long run, where the technology is changing every day. So there are a few advantages why a tool survives. Similarly, for other tools, we are going to talk about them, that why you need those tools, what purpose they are serving, and is this tool going to survive in long run. So we'll have all those discussions while the session is going on, but majorly we are going to focus on this most popular tool, Selenium, with Java being your programming language.
Got your point. Thank you so much for answering that, Ashish. Why I was saying, because of outside Selenium also, in my organization, people do talk about things, automation tools like Postman and,
Right.
all that.
For API
UFT.
testing, yes, UFT,
Yeah.
Postman, rest assured, I do. So yes, see, if you know Selenium, that is what I'm saying. If you know Selenium, you already know rest assured. Okay, so that is an API testing tool. So that is what I'm saying, that you need to focus on any one tool. If you gain command over that tool, it's just like if you know how to drive one car, you can drive any other car as well. Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, so it becomes very important for you to understand any one tool in automation. And once you have understood it, you'll see that most of the tools work on the same, I would say, framework or approach. Okay, there will be few minor changes here and there. Is only 1.5 months enough to grasp high-level Java concepts, or does it need to download Java IDE? Of course, see, here you need to be able to learn Java. Of course, you'll have to download Java, and this course will teach everything: how to download Java, how to set environment variables, what IDE we are going to use. For example, we are using Eclipse. So we'll talk about Jira also. So in 1.5 months, the thing is, you are definitely going to learn everything in those 1.5 months. The only thing is, you can't rely on my personal training, right? What I'm training is, you have to practice it. Okay, because we'll have the session for around 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Within that 1.5 hours or 2 hours, you're going to understand the concepts, but you have to do hands-on. If you're doing it on regular interval, I can give you list of people I have trained who are from non-technical background, and they are doing exceptionally well in today's time. And one of the advantage of being in IT industry is that you can, in today's time, you can work from home. In past 6 to 7 months, I've trained professionals from diversified background who wanted to get into IT industry because of the flexibility that it is offering to the professionals. So even if you're from non-technical background, I can give you hundreds of people you can get in touch with it, and that is also available over here, when they'll say that they were from non-technical background, and by taking this training, they're working as an automation engineer, as a quality analyst. So the only thing that is expected from you is that once we cover a session, after that you have to practice it at your end. So let's say if my session is of 1.5 hours, at least I expect you all people to do 1.5 hours or 1 hour learning from your end by going through those recordings and practicing everything. Okay. The next question is, are you going to be helping in placements? So yes, as I've said, that presently I'm associated with more than 100+ companies across the globe. If needed, We also provide you trainings for interviews, that how to crack an interview and all those things. So we are definitely going to help you over there as well. Then I could see both the interlink manual and automation can be done. Okay, that's a very interesting question. Madhu says that both manual testing and automation testing are they interlinked? Or the answer to this question is, she says that can we directly jump to automation? Yes. If you want to know that can we directly jump be an automation engineer? Yes, you can be an automation engineer. Okay. For that, you need to have a programming knowledge concept. You need to learn the tool and you need to how to automate the application. And in current times, we have people who are just automation engineers. And there are people who are just manual testers, manual engineers, and there are people who are both manual and automation testers. Okay. So if you want to be just an automation engineer, straight away you can start learning automation. There's no dependency of automation on manual testing. Okay. Yes, for you need to have an idea that is for your personal understanding that why automation came into picture. What was the issue that manual testers were facing, because of which we have to shift to automation testing. That is the only, maybe, just for knowledge purpose or information purpose, you need to know that thing. Otherwise, if somebody wants to start only as an automation tester, they can do it. Or if somebody wants to do start career as a manual tester, they can do it without having knowledge of automation or anything else. Fine. Now, how much do I have to pay for this course? For this, the team will get into touch with you. Okay, you can ask the details over there. Anything else, people?
Well, like you already mentioned, Ashish, the team will get in touch with us. But I just wanted to get a tentative idea of the session. Mostly it's going to be like EST time, US EST time, around the same time, or
okay.
how it works?
See, we run multiple batches. So that won't be a concern. Depending upon your time availability, you can be part of any of those batches. Okay, we have early morning sessions, we have afternoon sessions, we have evening sessions, we have late night sessions. Okay, so depending upon your availability, you can be part of any of those.
And it's going to be like every day, almost for 1.5 months, or approximately 1 hour every day.
Okay. So the thing is, if you're part of weekdays batches, of course it would be every day. We also run weekend batches, which would be of 3 hours session on Saturday and Sunday. So depending upon, but yes, in both the cases, we complete it within 1.5 months only. Okay, we just increase the hours for weekend trainings.
No, Ashish, so I'm okay with taking a class every day, weekdays classes, but just wanted to know if at all I'm going for all the weekday classes, approximately an hour and a half that we have to spend every day.
Yes.
Is that how it works?
Yes. And let's say if you miss out on any of those sessions, again, we'll be providing you recordings, and those recordings would be with you for at least 1 year. Okay. And if you have any questions, let's say you miss on any sessions and then you go through the recording. If you have any questions, so it's not that, we are going to dedicate only 1.5 hours. You can go through my sessions and, depending upon the questions and answer session that we have, the doubt clearing session we have, so it could extend well beyond that.
Well, I understand. It depends upon the classroom and the direction of the discussion. One last question, Ashish, so how soon your team will get in touch with us about the structure, fee structure and everything?
They'll get in touch with you, next 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
So they will call us?
Maybe if they're calling, well and good. Otherwise, I hope that they will call most of you. Otherwise, even you can get in touch with them. You can give a call to them and they'll be more than willing to help you out.
So the only contact we have, Ashish, is through the email. That's how we got to know about your, yeah.
Right. So maybe you can drop in, all of you who are interested in knowing more about this, the course structure, the fee structure, all those things, all those details, when the session will begin, to be part of which batch. So you can always drop a mail and they will revert back on it, and they'll, please share your contact number over there as well. So they'll get in touch with you. They'll make the call.
Actually, so while we were registering for this session, we already have given that detail, and that's how we got this link and a call from your team. Just now before the session, also somebody called me. So I'm assuming they already have our details, and all those people who have attended the call, the session today, probably they should be getting that information through phone or a mail, right?
Sure. In that case, they'll get in touch more with all of you then, if you have shared your details. Yeah. Okay. Now there is a question from Udaya. He says that, I'm not quite comfortable with coding. I heard you saying for automation testing, we don't need programming, but do we need any tools? Yes. So you understood it right. It's not important. No. Selenium is one such tool which uses programming language, but that's not the only tool, right? There are other tools as well in the market for which you don't need to have knowledge of programming. Okay. Even in Selenium itself, there is, Selenium is not a tool. It's known as, we don't call it tool most of the time. We call it an automation suite. Okay. And why it is an automation suite? Because Selenium in itself has got, multiple tools. So in Selenium, we have a tool called Selenium IDE, for which we don't need knowledge of programming language. That was the first tool that was developed under Selenium. Okay, so apart from that, Tosca is another tool. Then there are multiple other tools for which you don't need programming language. And second thing that I would like to tell you is, till the time you don't attend my session, you will have some inhibitions as far as coding is concerned. But once you join the session, trust me, I'm telling you based on the experience. I have told you that people from non-technical background, I have trained them and they are doing exceptionally well in coding. So don't get into that mode, because coding may sound difficult to the people because you have not been trained properly. Okay, once you just go through my sessions, I assure you within 5 sessions of coding, you will develop your interest into it. It's not a difficult thing. It's how you are being trained on it. Okay. But yes, even if you want to learn, you want to get into automation without having knowledge of any programming language, yes, it is very much possible. Okay, I could see more questions. Can you explain about the course fee? I have already answered this. You'll have to get in touch with the team. Then, okay, thanks. I think that's it. Any other questions from anyone? I think more or less you have an idea about how things are going to work and how exactly what all things we are going to learn in the training sessions. And in case if you have still any question, you can always drop us a mail and we'll be more than willing to help you over there.
Yeah, Ashish, I think it was really a very interactive and good session. And the expectation that you're setting for this upcoming session is really sounding very promising. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hear from your team, and let's see if everything falls in place. We'll definitely meet in the next upcoming classrooms.
Sure. Thanks everyone. And again, if you have any questions, any doubt, please get in touch with the team, drop a mail to them and they'll be helping you out with that. Thanks everyone. Take care and stay safe.
Thank you,
Nice.
Ashish.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you.
Janbass Training. Learn and grow.